let's go. Last list, let's go. Last list. Hello, welcome to Jimothy Listens. My name is Jimothy, and today it is the last of my year-end lists, and in my opinion, kind of the biggest one. That is my top 50 albums of 2023. Woo! I have already counted down my top 30 EPs and my top 50 songs of the year. Go and check them out as well. But we're getting into the big, beefy topic, the best albums of the year. There's a lot of them to get through, so we're gonna really speed through the first half, and then I'll eventually end up talking about each of the top 15 for 5 minutes each, so it won't matter, but I'm gonna try my best to keep it brief. Let's go! Kicking things off at number 50, it is Lana Del Rey's Did You Know That There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard, where gorgeous production, vocals, and writing paint the image of a woman not only exploring her memories, but the idea of becoming one herself. Another woman exploring the idea of self is Hannah Diamond on album 49, Perfect Picture, though this is a much sparklier, more glittery, poppier affair. In at number 48, Leve is bringing back 50s lounge music in a big way on the album Bewitched. And number 47 is a high point for electronic music this year on Skrillex's Quest for Fire. If Taylor Swift, Carly Rae Jepsen, boygenius, and Haim had a gay daughter, it would be 2023's best new pop star Chappell Roan, who dropped my 46th favorite album of the year, The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess. Number 45 goes to Code Orange's The Above, which is blistering metal with the drama turned all the way up. At number 44, it is some of the best songwriting I have ever heard on Kara Jackson's Why Does the Earth Give Us People to Love. 43 shows a huge persona from Tasmanian metal star Kim Dracula on A Gradual Decline in Morale, an album whose overwhelming genre fusions and personality make it sound more like a piece of theatre than music. Gorillaz land at number 42 with a wonderful smooth tour of Cracker Island. And number 41 is over the top and too much in the best way possible. It's Ashnikko's Weedkiller. Number 40 is Amnesia Scanner and Freeka Tet's STROBE.RIP. If a club was a mouth and the dance floor was the tongue, the bar was like a row of teeth, this would be the soundtrack to the cleanup after the lights come on. At number 39, it's my favorite K-pop full album of the year, with the debut of Twice's Japanese line Misamo. Number 38 is the Hers Collective's We're Still Here, a hardcore punk collaboration featuring over 35 musicians, all coming together to celebrate queerness through community and spiteful resilience. At number 37, indie supergroup boygenius come through with The Record, full of memorable writing, intimate production, and unmatched chemistry. Number 36 sees pop icon Carly Rae Jepsen drop my favorite album of hers to date, The Loveliest Time. And at number 35, Christine and the Queens gives us a triple album that feels like stepping into a church that worships synths on Paranoia, Angels, and True Love. Number 34 goes to one of the breakout pop stars of the year, Amaarae, for the dreamy and angelic Fountain Baby. And number 33 goes to Frost Children's Speedrun, a wonderful alternative pop album that lures you in with banging beats before revealing its true precious heart. Coming into the number 32 spot with sheer aggression is rapper Ice Cold Bishop with Generational Curse. Rounding out the first 20 albums is pop sensation Olivia Rodrigo, who refines her pop rock sound and both looks forward to and reckons with becoming an adult on her album Guts. Number 30 goes to Queef Jerky for Queef Underground, an album that is hard to describe as just purely comedy rap when it is produced so well. At number 29, Spelling comes through with gorgeous live arrangements of her past work on the fantastic Spelling and the Mystery School. And at number 28, pummeling walls of guitars and drums are used to kick rainbow vibes out into the stars on Angel Electronic's Ultra Paradise. Number 27 goes to Billy Woods and Kenny Segal for the album Maps, which is just a masterclass of abstract hip-hop on all fronts. At number 26, Japanese band Trico bring a bit of roughness to their energetic, fun-filled, colourful rock style on Fudeki. And we have hit the halfway mark, 25 down, 25 to go. Number 25 is an infectious groove fest from start to finish Finish, which features a bunch of collaborators coming in to paint their own style. It is Cali Cartier's Fire Emoji. Number 24 is the exciting debut album from Sydney artist Mung Mung, Bougie Baby, whose effortless rap, pop and R&B stylings show off just as much personality as they do taste and talent. At number 23, it's my favourite Australian album of the year, coming from Melbourne experimental rap trio Two Birds with Soul of Two Birds. This album pushes as many boundaries as it can find. It is atmospheric and cool as hell from start to finish. Number 22 sees British disco queen Jessie Ware deliver a collection of sexy dance bangers that make you want to spend eternity grooving on the dance floor on That Feels Good. And number 21 goes to Galen Tipton's Brain Scratch, which is the sweetest noise album I've ever heard. Coming through with delightful textures, it is just a swirling pool of colourful, playful fun. Breaking into the top 20, we have the impenetrable, unlistenable, pretentious art rock album of the year, Sprains the Lamb as Effigy, which I really would recommend listening to. It is definitely the hardest listen on the entire list, but God, is the emotional journey worth it. Landing at number 19 is one of the most oddball electronic albums I've heard in a while, Six Impala's Earwax, which just tells the story of a guy who wants to eat some octopus. At number 18, it is Ray with the live version of her debut album, My 21st Century Symphony. For me, it is the live version that takes the cake. The already fantastically written songs are just elevated by the huge orchestra, as well as Ray's sheer passion for sharing her music. Number 17 is Janelle Monáe's The Age of Pleasure, which makes me wish I owned a boat, because I would just sail this out into open waters and bask in the sun while this is playing. Number 16 goes to the gorgeously crafted pop stylings of Caroline Polachek's Desire, I Want to Turn Into You, which feels like soaring through the clouds. It is just heavenly, from the highest high notes to the deepest basses. And at number 15, it is Yule's Soft Scars, a wonderful Frankenstein of indie rock and electronic digital stylings. It sounds like a forest where the tree's roots are thick cables that feed into a beating titanium-coated heart. Number 14 is Black Country New Roads live at Bush Hall, which I am so glad to say is this good, following the departure of frontman Isaac Wood after their last album, but it is safe to say that the band are still pushing forward with music that is as gorgeous as ever, and the new array of voices we're hearing only add to their fantastic sound. At number 13, Kali Uchis delivers a full meal of an album with Red Moon in Venus. Cali just continues to level up in every way. Her voice is phenomenal, the production is so tasty, it is just banger after banger. At number 12 we have Jane Remover coming through, but it's not census designated, no, it is Leroy's Grave Robbing, which is just peak Daria core. A mashup album that with Jane's taste means we're getting New Jeans mashed up with Death Grips, all of which is backed by her fantastic textural electronic production. Nothing goes harder. At number 11, Dorian Electra breaks down humanity's need for internet fame on Fanfare. Exploring, as they put it, the cradle-to-grave pipeline, Dorian splices in internet jokes and memes to just make something that is so in need of touching grass, but so relatable for someone like me. And it's all wrapped up in this brass-filled rocky pop sound that could only come from a genius mind such as Dorian Electra. Ooh, top 10 time. I need a little bit of a breather. I've been talking so much. Okay, in at number 10, it is the 4-hour epic from DJ Sabrina, the Teenage DJ Destiny. Sabrina just continues to level up, and on this monster of an album, it is just pure, warm, nostalgia-filled bangers from head to toe. Perfect samples make this melting pot of warm fuzzy goodness that occasionally just produces like a perfect pop banger before settling back into the amorphous, warm, gooey mess that you can just get lost in for literally hours and hours. At number 9, it is the fantastic new album from Kesha, Gag Order. The pop legend comes through with this release, which is part album, part therapy session, as Kesha is finally ready to address and unpack and move on from all of the drama that has happened in her career. She really takes the time to go through her mental state, step through everything, and does this through some of the craziest bangers she has ever released, as well as some of the hardest hitting emotional ballads. It is vulnerable, it is revelatory, it is just truly, truly fantastic, especially being someone who has been a fan of Kesha for so many years at this point. In at number 8, it is Kaizo Slumber with How Are We Feeling Today. Now, I'll try and not repeat too much of what I said when I talked about his fantastic EP that he also dropped this year. Kaizo Slumber is a Libyan-German producer who is just pushing the boundaries of hardcore electronic music. I honestly never expected the evolution from the dreamy hardcore of last year's The Kaizo Manifesto to this. In its heaviest moments, it is wrenching guitars mixed in with pummeling kicks and shouted vocals, though it isn't all downcast. As a devoted Twitter follower of Mr. Kaizo Slumber, I am well aware of his silly nature, his tongue-in-cheek humor style, his desire to never take anything seriously, and that shows up in spades across this album. My mind immediately goes to the outro of one of the songs on this album being just the sound of someone pissing in and then flushing a toilet. But that silliness and that playfulness also unlocks the creativity necessary to pull off everything that this album does. Like, who else would come up with, let alone be able to perfectly execute a hardcore waltz? No one else but Kaizo. Landing at number 7, it is Tizo Touchdown's How Do You Sleep at Night, and I am so happy to have a true weirdo oddball finally touching the mainstream. It's been so long. On this record, Tizo serves up unapologetic, quirky energy in a way that is just so charming and easy to fall for. This album really is quite a simple recipe. It's just Tizo rapping about his life, his family, his neighborhood, his relationships, his desire for success. Nothing really that out of the ordinary. But what makes them so compelling is simply the person doing it. His outlook, his perspective, the details that he chooses to mention, and the way that he describes it. The very first line on this album is him saying that he hasn't had time to watch the new Spider-Man movie yet. What really sells this album, though, is Tizo's authenticity. There's no shortage of artists at the moment who market themselves as, ooh, I'm edgy, I'm not like the others, I'm anti-mainstream, I'm doing something weird, I'm kooky, I'm an oddball. The difference, though, is that Tizo's oddities and eccentricities don't feel like a selling point. They're just who he is. And nothing says it better than the chorus on one of the last tracks on the album, where he says, "I've never met a stranger. You see, I'm strange to you, but you're not strange to me." In at number 6, this should surprise no one. It is JPEG Mafia and Danny Brown's Scaring the Hoes. JPEG Mafia has been my favorite artist of the past few years, hands down. He is one of my favorite artists of all time. And the idea of him teaming up with fellow kooky underground legend Danny Brown for this album had everyone who, only showers once a week chomping at the bit. On this album, the two really lean into the kind of moniker that they've been given as like hoe scaring music. Oh, don't play that, you'll scare the hoes. Oh, no, don't give them the aux chord, they'll scare the hoes. They just fully embrace this and dive headfirst into bizarre sounds and niche references. Peggy's production is honestly some of the best he has ever done, which is really saying something. They're the perfect, colourful bases for him and Danny to just spit about whatever they feel like over the top. But this album isn't just bizarreness and weirdo-ness, it comes together as a statement that sort of stands fast against the mainstream. In a time where the rap scene is so heavily focused on trend chasing and so focused on numbers and streams and who's charting better, these two just say, nope, not having a bar of it. We're gonna make whatever we want to make, and it's working out pretty well for them. Oh boy, here we are in the top 5, and kicking things off at number 5, it is my favorite rap album of the year. Technically it came out in December 2022, but whatever, it's Little Simz's No Thank You. And before anything else, I want to state that this is a collection of vault tracks, cutting room floor material, offcuts. My number 5 album, my rap album of the year, is a collection of material that Sims sees as disposable. In all honesty though, I prefer this to her last album. No shade to that record, it is phenomenal, but for me, the stripped back nature and laser focus of this record just set it a step above. This is just 50 minutes of straight rapping from one of the best rappers around at the moment. Whether she's viciously picking apart the parasitic music industry or just flexing her MC skills, Sims effortlessly strings together memorable bar after memorable bar. Add to that the fantastic production and the gospel choirs to fill in the rare moments where Sims isn't just going Mac 10, and it's a recipe for the best rap album of 2023. Which is an extra feat considering it came out in 2022. Water break. That bitch empty. Yeet. Moving into number 4, it is no small feat to find comfort in the impending apocalypse, but Jeff Rosenstock does just that on his new album Hell Mode, while simultaneously reminding me that the world is absolutely fucked and there's next to nothing I can do about it. He also lets me know that I'm not alone. There's reassuring catharsis in every pocket of this record. From the colourful sun-baked guitar riffs to the energetic vocals, Hell Mode is a bombastic punk showcase with just a tinge of pop stylings to help those songs wriggle even deeper into your skin, with in-depth discussion of everything that rattles around the mind of a dedicated doom scroller. It's a reminder to take care of yourself, showing that you need to make peace with yourself first before you can make peace with the rest of the world. Jeff offers a hand to hold while we stand and watch the fire. Moving along into number 3, which is Saved by Reverend Kristen Michael Hayter. And for this, I want you to just close your eyes and I'm going to describe a little scene for you. Imagine you're just wandering out through the wilderness and you stumble across an old dilapidated church. It's obviously been abandoned for decades, the windows are all smashed, dirt covers every surface. And as you look around, you notice something under one of the pews. It's a cassette tape. There's no label, nothing to indicate what's on it, so you decide to take it home and play it. This takes some effort though, as the tape is in pretty poor condition from being exposed to the elements for God knows how long. Eventually though, you get it working. Sure, the quality isn't great, some bits sound a bit warped, some bits are just completely distorted, but what you hear is a time capsule of this old community. Hymns are belted over warm, fuzzy piano chords. The passion and love for the subject they're singing about, making the voices sound better than any modern studio could. Though as you listen further, you can't help but wonder why this church was abandoned. Maybe something happened all those years ago to leave that building so empty. There's only one way to find out, and that's to keep listening to the tape. The tape, which is this album, in case you didn't get that. I assume most of you probably, but just in case, the tape that I'm talking about is this album. That's what it sounds like. It's wonderful. Number 3. Moving into number 2 though, and we've already had some unsurprising placements, but I think this is the least surprising of all, and that is 100 gecs' 10,000 gecs. Now, how do I describe gecs? It's just fun. It is pure fun. I am someone who always tries to dispel the notion that playful art can't be serious and serious art can't be playful, and 100 gecs is a testament to that. Their music is silly, funny, corny, and at times just plain wrong. But it's done with intention and with deep knowledge of every inspiration that they jam together and every rule that they flagrantly break. If they were just being silly for the sake of being silly, then I think this sophomore album would be impossible. Because this album shows something that I don't think you can really get with just like, ooh, silly, goofy art that has no real artistic merit. And that is artistic growth and development. 10,000 gecs sees Laura and Dylan evolve, going from the digital computer sounds of their earlier work to the guitar-led rock aesthetics of this record. And what a new world of sound this opens up to them. Just look at the outro on Billy Knows Jamie, which is just noise rock hell, or the fast-paced chopped up feedback that makes up the beat of Doritos and Fritos. Somehow Dylan and Laura continue to find new ways to play, new buttons to press, new walls to break, and new gears to throw a wrench in. And what's best is that they continue to just have fun doing it. Oh boy, it's time. It's time. We have made it. We have made it, my friends, to my favorite album of the year, number one, and that is the new album from Underscore's Woolsocket. This album is about a small town in Michigan called Woolsocket, and specifically the people who live in it. Each song tells a different story from the perspectives of the different people who live there, whether it's escaping your boring job, dealing with illness, making friends. All of these stories are captivating and gripping, but the individual stories aren't the genius of this album. April's production perfectly captures the sound of this town. The 2000s pop and pop rock aesthetics show a community that's just lagging behind the rest of the world a little bit. The addition of banjos and harmonicas and pedal steel place it far from any big city. The fuzz that coats everything and all of the little glitches and bleeps and bloops that pop up show us a town that's maybe a little bit run down. There's cracks in the walls and the roads. But the impressive production and sound design isn't the genius of this album. What makes this album so perfect is the overarching narrative. And by that, I don't mean the kind of ARG narrative and all of the like Sunny Mara OMB stuff, as fun as that is. Woolsocket describes what it's like to grow up as a young girl in a rural American town. As you dive into the individual narratives, common themes start to pop up. Loneliness, envy, abandonment are the fears that plague this young girl. She's questioning the world around her as well as her own identity. It's something that is infinitely relatable while offering perspectives that could only come from April Harper Grey. Woolsocket takes a look at the youth in the 21st century, puts a hand on their shoulder, and says, good luck. And there you have it, my 50 favorite albums of 2023. They're all linked in the description if you want to go and listen to them, which you should. They're all fantastic. But let me know, what do you like? What don't you like? What is your favorite album of 2023? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you click the like button if you enjoyed the video and subscribe, as there's going to be more great music-based content coming your way for the next 2024. The next 2024? There's only one of them, this one. But yeah, stick around. Fun things happening. And with that, that's the end of the lists. 2023 done, officially dead and buried, looking into the future, and I cannot wait to listen to more great music and share it with you. So with that, I will see you next time. Love you. Mwah. And bye-bye.
After all, that's not how this thing works. After all, that's not how this thing works. After all, that's not how this thing works.